Hey guys, welcome back to Shane Complains. Thanks for those that have been listening. Thanks for everything. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to listen to my podcast. Um, I know it's not much. I know it's not consistent like I wanted it to be, but this life has been it's been crazy. It's crazy good, productive, making goals, making reaching my goals, I should say, and doing things that I want to do and want to accomplish and everything. But anyway, the topic today is gonna be about schools. Um, I finished college. I graduated high school. Was it '09? No, not '09. No, '04. And I finished college '09. And I haven't heard much things when it comes to colleges and everything besides the fact it's getting more and more expensive. And the fact of the matter is, when you get a degree, it's not a guarantee you're gonna actually get a job. Get a good job that's even in your own field. Whatever you study. But that's always been something that's been going on for years. But coast college, like I said, college tuition goes up each and every time. But anyway, um, that's something I do say to myself, because the path I took, as a personal trainer, um, I didn't really need a 4 year degree. I took 5 years to do it. I did change my major, but I didn't really need a 4 year degree for it. But I'm happy I did because it helped me. I went to school for sports medicine and sports rehab, so it did help facilitate my career, and help me business wise, grow my clientele and so on and so forth. It did, but a lot of people aren't that fortunate, aren't that lucky. So anyway, I did graduate from high school, of course, 2004, like I said. But that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about high school down, high school, middle school, elementary school, whatever. Um, cause it's like the stuff I'm hearing is very not kind of, it is disturbing to me. Very, very disturbing. All right, let's just talk about the whole shooting stuff too. I mean, that's of course awful. When it comes to guns, there should be better regulations with the guns. You know, um, it doesn't make any sense. I don't like to compare other people, compare other things, but compare our country to other countries. They have a better gun regulation system or whatever. From what I understand, a couple of weeks ago, somewhere in Australia, there was a mass shooting in a mosque. Now, granted, it's not high school, but or not in the school system, but after that happened, they're getting rid of AR-15s or certain guns or whatever in the entire country, something like that, something to that effect. I didn't really read the whole thing to understand, but they know they're gonna stop a certain kind of gun from being on the streets, to be bought or whatever. I just never understood why assault rifles should be sold to the public to begin with. Um, to protect yourself, unless you're having a zombie attack, you don't really need a automatic rifle. You know, let's say someone's trying to break into your house, you don't need an automatic rifle. You're trying to shoot a deer or whatever, people do. You don't need an automatic rifle either. It's a shotgun. I mean shotgun. Just a regular gun, you know. Um, but anyway, I just find it weird that America, such a progressive country, um, is having these issues. I mean, it's still racism. That's not funny, ha ha, but it's funny that we still have racial issues and we still having gun issues. Like I said, we're a country that is very progressive. I mean, when it comes to technology, pretty much that's actually it. But there's still a whole bunch of stuff going on that's crazy. I mean, granted, there's probably other countries too that do it. But anyway, like I said, I want to talk about the school system, and I just got the whole gun situation out of the way. There shouldn't be automatic rifles. There should be better way to do background checks. More strict. You know, long. It shouldn't be just. From what I understand, it's like a short little process. Wait a couple weeks or whatever, and you get a gun. Or if if you do it the right way to get a license, or But most people just, can go buy guns anywhere really if you really want a gun. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the actual education. I'm hearing, I have good amount of clientele that are teachers, and I talk to other people too that of course know teachers of, have family members that are teachers. And it's just crazy that certain things are like they're not telling history like history class. They're not telling everybody telling the truth about what happened in this country anymore. And I didn't realize about it took me about 2 years ago. I'm 33. I was 31, maybe 32, whatever it was. But it took me about 18 years after finishing, 19 years, sorry, 12 years after finishing college or finishing high school that I learned that there was actually an African American man in Congress in the early 1900s. I didn't know that. That stuff like that was not taught in school. And that was back then when I was in school. They talked about African American history, they talked about segregation, they talked about all this kind of stuff. The Trail of Tears with the Indians, what the Asians had to go through when it came to building the railroads and all this kind of stuff. They taught us that. But now I'm finding out they're not telling that stuff now. They're not talking about segregation. They're not talking about the Trail of Tears. They're not talking about all this stuff to make America look bad, I guess. But it's reality. It happened. And soon eventually they're gonna like get wipe it from try to wipe it from the textbooks, and not the textbook, but like if you go maybe on a website or whatever to find the truth. I'm surprised they're actually allowed to have an African American museum in Washington. I'm absolutely surprised about that. But they allowed it. I mean, it it just doesn't make sense to me. Why do you have to go to a museum really to find out what happened in American history? Why? Why can't you open a book, learn in school about what happened, so hopefully it doesn't happen again? I mean, history always repeats itself, but why can't we just do that? People can go and find out what's going on, learn and ask questions about history, what actually happened to, if it's an African American boy or a girl, whatever, what happened to their people a long time ago, so you can learn from it and hopefully not build on hate, but hopefully build on something that they realize that I shouldn't hate somebody because of this, I shouldn't hate somebody because of that. Some things like insignificant about like a skin color, your religion, your belief. So to see all the horrible stuff that was done to their people, it doesn't matter if you was the Hispanics or blacks or whatever. They can learn and see what was done to their people, and then be able to realize, let me not repeat that. Let's learn from this and move on. I mean, if it's taught the right way. But if they learn about their history, about the horrible things their people, whoever may be, the Jewish people in the Holocaust, or whatever, if they learn it the wrong way from reading a book, they're just gonna be angry and upset about everything, and then they're gonna probably take it out on somebody else. Or those maybe it's a little African American boy, black boy, whatever, black boy. He finds out about all the racism, all the physicians back then were experimenting and doing, cutting up black people to find out about the the insides of a human, or whatever you want to say, the autopsies or whatever, find out how the body really works from African Americans. If he happens to find that out, and he's not able to understand and realize that was a long time ago, and things have changed now, and we have to move forward, that hate is gonna grow. That hate's gonna keep building up. But if you're in front of a teacher, in front of your classmates, learning about all this stuff, learning about the history, and then realizing that was history and we're not going to repeat it and stuff like that, it's just, I don't know, it's just these are all my opinion. I just really, I'm worried about the school system. I'm really worried about it. We cannot hide the truth from people, and that's what I feel like that's what's going on. And like I said, someone's gonna find out eventually. The kids are gonna find out. The Jews are gonna find out. What happened. I mean, they definitely have taught about it all the time with different holidays that they have. Pretty much teaches them about where they came from. Passover's right around the corner, so they're gonna learn about the Exodus from Egypt and all that kind of stuff. But it's just, I don't know if I got that right. Passover, yeah. Sorry if I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but they learn about the history where they came from each and every day, and they're not out there killing people. I mean, I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't know. But honestly, I think that's best if we all learn from it. We all learn from our history. The right way in school. Learn about everything that's going on, happen, I should say, in the school and in school. We're supposed to learn about this stuff in school. We're not supposed to learn. When I say we're not supposed to, but for homework and everything, we should learn everything everywhere we go. But we should learn about the history when we go to school. Learn about African American history. Learn about the Jewish history. Learn about everything. We should learn about everything that affected America. Everything that affected America and helped change America to the country that we have now. Because the way I was taught, it seemed like it was white people that created this country. Blacks had nothing to do with it. Asians had nothing to do with it. Hispanics had nothing to do with it, or Latinos, whatever you want to say. They had nothing to do with it. It's strictly just a bunch of white men running the country. And they invited blacks over here. They invited Asians over here. And Hispanics over here. That's the way it seemed like to me. Well, of course, I learned about slavery too, of course. But that's why it seems like it's going on right now. It's very, very troublesome, in my opinion, that people aren't learning the truth of what's going on in the world, and it's I don't know. To me it's bothersome, and it's worrisome, because like I said, if we don't learn about history, we can't prevent history from repeating itself. And it seems to me like history is definitely going to repeat itself. Maybe not here, but maybe somewhere else. But either way, other things now that I'm hearing about the school system, and it's about the behavior. My opinion when it comes to behavior, like say for instance, if a kid backtalks a teacher, if a kid beats up or attacks or mistreats or verbally abuses another student, whose fault is it? So whose fault is it, like, if stuff like that happens? If a kid does that, in my opinion, it's the parents' fault. It's honest to God the parents' fault. Because you learn behavior, you learn manners, you learn all these kind of different stuff in at home. You don't learn it in school. You don't learn please and thank you in school. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to learn that kind of stuff in school. You're supposed to learn that stuff at home. And that's what I don't understand. Is like the parents are always quick to blame the teachers, quick to blame the school system. Are there bad teachers out there? Yeah, hell yeah. There's bad teachers in every profession. There's bad bad teachers, or there's bad or good teachers too. But there's good physical therapists. There's bad physical therapists. There's good whatever. There's always good and bad. Good cops, bad cops. But it's just crazy how parents are quick to blame the teachers. Quick to blame the teachers. And that's just something that I don't really understand. But having these kids come into school and then this is what I actually heard. Is it 100% true? I don't know. But honestly, it would not surprise me anymore. Because the way how these kids are nowadays, they're getting out of hand, and everybody's looking to point the finger at the school system and blame the teachers. I mean, blame the parents. But in reality, it is the parents. And I don't care what anyone says, it is the parents. But what I'm hearing is like, for instance, a kid wrote a note, and threw it into the teacher's one of the teacher's rooms. She looked it up. She picked it up, and it said, what did it say? How long would it take for you to come if I was fingering you? To a teacher. He said that to a teacher. He wrote a note and threw it into a teacher. And the parents came in, and there's cameras in the school apparently. That's how bad schools are gotten. There's metal detectors and cameras. But the parents came in, and the dad was like, "Oh, that's not my son." But on camera, you just clearly him. They show him writing a letter and throwing it in the room. But oh, that's not my son. That's not my son. But what happened to the kid? Nothing. Because apparently he kept on denying it, kept on denying it. Even though camera proof is right there, he got off. And there's another instance where it's just actually a story in the newspaper. This woman is actually a teacher. She's actually found charged against the school system because apparently it was like they have 4 boys. I think it was 3 or 4 boys in middle school. This is middle school. They pretty much had their hands in their pants, saying you ever gave oral sex before. Probably another way, but you ever gave oral sex before to a teacher. These boys standing with their hands in their pants. Have you ever gave oral sex before? This kind of stuff that's going on, and you're supposed to, and you're gonna blame the school for that. You're gonna blame the school for that. I mean, honestly, like, it baffles me that teachers aren't getting paid more. It really baffles me. I mean, I actually put something on Facebook saying, shout out to the teachers that putting up all the abuse, all the crap they got to deal with. I didn't get into detail, but this kind of stuff I'm talking about, like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. And those kids are most likely nothing will happen to them. Yeah, for another example though, one of my clients who's a disciplinarian in high school, and long story short, one of these kids was getting rowdy and was yelling at the teacher, cursing him out. Not only yelling, but cursing him out. Didn't put their hands on him, of course, but yelling and cursing him out. And all that happened, what happened? He got suspended. No, he wasn't even suspended. Something happened to him, something minor. Because apparently the school system get extra money from the state if they don't suspend people or if they don't expel people. Something to that effect. So to avoid losing out on that money, they just let the kids pretty much run wild. I mean, they have most of the school system nowadays. They have cops that have to patrol the schools. I mean, maybe it's just because of the school shootings, but majority of the time it's probably just because the kids get a little crazy. Not a little crazy. I should take that back. Just get crazy. And my thing is, like, this is what they do to teachers. Like the fact that it's the sexual harassing teachers now. Just imagine what they're doing to the fellow schoolmates. The opposite sex or the girl, like say a boy approaching a girl, probably forcing themselves on them because they're more, I guess, bigger than the girls. Well, girls mature faster, but they're probably putting these girls in difficult situations. Will they have to do something? They have to do whatever the boys are asking. It's scary. God knows, I want a child eventually. I do want to be a father. And honestly, as strange it might sound, as a male, I do want a girl. But it's just crazy how this world is coming. It's becoming. And it's just in the school system I'm talking about. It's absolutely crazy. It's crazy and scary at the same time. I don't know, man. I just wish um, change can happen, but it won't happen because it's going to take a lot for something like this to change. Parents are going to have to realize that I have to step up and actually do stuff. But in reality, it's like the way how the world is, people are always working. Parents are always, putting their kids right in front of the TV. So that's where they learn from. That's where they learn everything from. It's from the TV. And what do we see on TV? Man being dominant over a woman. Man being, woman being sexualized, objectified. So that's what they realize. And girls see it too. So I have to be like that. I have to go and be like a Kim Kardashian or whatever. I have to, give oral sex and be on music videos and do all this stuff to survive. That's the only way I'm going to get ahead. Because the parents aren't around to actually do anything. And I'm not saying it's all the parents' fault because they have to work. I completely understand they have to work. Hell, right now I'm doing like between 12 to 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I understand. But in my opinion, when it comes to having a child or deciding to have a child, that's the first and foremost. You have to decide, am I actually ready to have a child? Can I financially support myself, my spouse, or whatever? Hopefully you're not the only one working. You can't be the only one bringing in income nowadays. Can I support all 3 people or 4 people, whatever? And should I actually stop having kids and actually, focus on bringing my income up and then maybe consider having kids? Or not stop having kids, but just decide not to have any kids until I'm actually financially ready to do it. It's actually really scary, man, because it's just like, I think it actually starts there. People, parents or a person, whatever, decide to have a child, they have to realize, am I mentally and physically and financially ready to support a child? Majority of these people that have kids nowadays can't. I will always remember one thing. I saw the news, and it wasn't like a comedy sketch or whatever. It was actually real. A woman was on TV, and it was like an instance where the welfare checks weren't, I guess, coming out, and she was black lady, Not saying only black people get welfare checks, but it was a black lady, and she was in front of the news reporter, and she looked at her. I looked in the camera, whatever it is, and said, how am I going to feed my 6 kids? How am I going to feed my 6 kids? Because she doesn't have welfare. She's not getting her welfare checks on time. Or when it's supposed to happen. How am I supposed to feed my 6 kids? Now, the first and foremost, why the hell you have 6 kids? And apparently you need welfare or food stamps or whatever the hell you need to support them. Why the hell you even have 1? Why you have 2? And why you have any? And I will bet this woman is just home watching TV, just collecting money. And these kids are probably raising themselves out on the streets, doing all that stupid stuff, learning about life on the street. Yeah, it's good to be street smart, don't get me wrong. But while she's probably out doing something stupid, not taking care of her kids, she's just waiting to collect a check. It's tax time. It's almost April 15th, next Monday, I think it is. And, people just having all these kids to get the benefit. Why you have 6 kids? You can't even support yourself. And I know there's different situations. A woman, she fell in love with this guy and thought it was the right one. She had decided to have a kid. But you can't keep on doing it and keep on doing it and keep on doing it over and over again. You have to learn your lesson. Oh, it's a self-esteem issue. I have daddy issues. He's the one my daddy wasn't there, but he loves me. He showed me affection that no male has ever. Yeah, but you gotta wake up. You're bringing another life into the world. I'm not saying it's all a woman's fault. Don't get me wrong. It isn't. Because I actually was talking to one of my clients about this too. And he was saying that a man can pick up and go. A man can easily pick up and go. But that's why it sucks to be a woman. And that's why it's kind of crazy the fact that I'm saying I want a daughter when the hardest thing in the world to be is a woman. I mean, in the world. In America, a black, I'll probably say a black woman. But in general, between men or female, the hardest thing more difficult thing is a woman. They have all this bullshit you got to worry about, all this extra stress, the hormones and all that kind of stuff. Because I don't like to say, when my wife's when my wife has a period or whatever, I don't like for her to say, oh, I'm on my period, that's why I'm cranky, that's why I'm this. I don't really like that. I understand, but I don't really like when she says that. Because if I say it, I feel like I'm being sexist when I say that. But it's reality, it's the truth. Hormones can change everything, change your mood, and, make you more and more upset. But, man, I don't know. I'm running on I'm pretty much going on another topic, but I think it actually starts there. I think parents need to realize, really think about it. When you check that test, I don't know, it's like a plus sign or whatever it is to show that you're about to have a child. You should really consider should I keep this baby? I know they didn't go to pro-life. We go to debate about pro-life and pro-choice, whatever. But before you decide to have a child, either way, before you have sex or after you have sex, whatever. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for that responsibility? Are you ready to sacrifice, not working as much to be with that child? Are you by yourself? I mean, there's a lot of things to consider. TV shouldn't raise a child. You should. And like I said, it's for a teacher, it's very, very scary. Absolutely scary. And there's something else I want to point out too, and I find very funny, where it was the first one. Actually, it was two things. So when all the school shootings were happening, one of my clients' daughter is a teacher. And she told her father that one of the students' parents was talking to her and saying that, talk about the school shootings and everything. And the mom, who's black, because she works in a predominantly black school, saying the mom said, "Don't worry about it. You work in a black school." Meaning that majority of the time with the school shootings, mostly white people that go crazy or, and commit these acts of terrorism, the school shootings, But then on the reverse side, you have these teachers, white teachers, that have to deal with a student being upset and being scolded, saying, "Don't do this, make sure you do your homework," whatever. And then the student would say, "Oh, it's because I'm black. Oh, you're racist." That same teacher actually had to deal with that. My client was telling me that black student calling the teacher who was white a racist. But trust me, if she was racist, she would not be in that damn school. Especially with all the damn money, all the little money, I should say, the little money that she makes. She would not be in that damn school if she was racist. I think it would be impossible for there to be a white racist teacher working in the school system. I think it's impossible. Maybe it's a predominantly white school and they don't want any blacks in there. Yeah, I can see that. But in this area, if it's a predominantly black school, that's impossible for a white person that's racist to be working in the school system. That'd be impossible. That teacher is definitely there to help you out. Definitely there to help you. And once you see you do better and be better. Because the amount of money that they get, man, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. I'm sorry. I would never want to be a teacher.
Never want to be a teacher. The amount of disrespect they get, the least the income that they bring in, no. And then usually during the summertime, you have to work and get another, like a part-time job or something like that, just to make ends meet. No, not me. I don't mind working. Don't get me wrong, but I want to beat the hell out of those kids. I want to beat the hell out of them. But anyway, that's my rant, my whatever about that. It's just interesting though how the school system is nowadays. But I'm not saying all teachers are perfect. I'm not saying all parents are bad. I know they're doing their best. I mean, honestly, my mom wasn't there when we were growing up, but she instilled rules in me to make sure I'm doing everything the right way. My mom was a single mom from Jamaica, worked just as much hours as I've been doing, if not more, while raising 4 kids. Kind of TV raised me in a sense, but she instilled values in me that's gonna last my lifetime. So I don't get out of line. I don't do anything crazy or whatever. Because honestly, I feared her. If anything happened at school and my mom found out, she'll beat the crap out of us. I mean, granted, you can't do that nowadays because, the laws, and you can't beat kids. I mean, before they still had them, you can't beat your kids, but they're more strictly enforced. But anyway, so like I said, though, I do understand it is hard to be a parent. It's a thankless job and all this kind of stuff, I know. But some people need to realize, they really think before they actually do anything. Am I ready to be a parent? Am I ready to take on that job? Some people, if not most of them aren't ready. Yes, I'm not a parent myself, but I was, of course, raised by a single mom. And I intend on planning on having a child myself. And I do know what's going to take, what it needs to be done. I need to have time. I need to have the finances. I need to be physically and mentally ready for it. And I accept that. But some people, like I said, and it doesn't matter if you're mad at me or not, you cannot deny there's people out there that aren't ready and should not be parents at all. But anyway, guys, my rant is over. I hope you all have a good day. And thanks for listening. Please feel free, if you have any questions about anything, hit me up on Twitter. It's at CONDAPPA. It's my last name. At CONDAPPA. At Kandapa. But until next time, thanks again for listening, guys. And like always, think positive things and positive things will happen. Okay? Have a good one.